The next exercise is tucking and tilting our pelvis into imprint and neutral to find out where our pelvic placement should be while we're performing the rest of the exercises. So you're going to lie down on your mat, and you're going to place your heel of your hands on your hip bones and your fingertips on your pubic bone. And I just want you to think of keeping your ribs relaxed. Take a breath, and as you exhale, you're going to use your deep core to tuck your pelvis. So the little low back space you have is going to get smaller or go away. And then you're going to take a breath, and you're going to go back to neutral. So neutral spine is when the hip bones and the pubic bone are all on the same plane. We're going to do that again. Take a breath, exhale, just use your core to tuck your pelvis. That's what we call an imprint in Pilates. And then take another breath, and as you exhale, let your pelvis go back to neutral. You're going to do that 5 times, just going with your breath. Take a breath, exhale, tuck. That's your imprint. Take a breath, exhale, go back to neutral. Let's do that one more time. Take a breath, exhale, imprint the spine. Take a breath, and exhale, move the spine back to neutral. We're going to hold that neutral spine, go right into our next exercise, which is called leg slides. So you're going to take a breath, and as you inhale, you're going to slide your leg away. And as you exhale, keeping your pelvis very neutral, draw your leg back in. It's easiest if you just think of sliding your heel. And my heel doesn't slide as evenly on this mat, but you could do this on the floor, or you could have socks on to help you slide a little bit easier. But if you watch, my pelvis doesn't move out of its neutral. So that's a lot of core work to hold the pelvis still. Let's try that on the other leg. Inhale, slide the leg out. Exhale, slide the leg back. 4 more times. Inhale to slide the leg out. Exhale, engage the core to hold everything stable as you pull back in. And we're going to do that 3 more times. Inhale out. Exhale back in. Last 2. Inhale, slide it out. Exhale, pull it back in. Now let's go right into the next exercise, which is hip release. It's the same concept. You're going to keep your neutral spine, engage your core, but this time it gets harder. You're going to drop your leg out to the side. When we do that, it's going to want to pull our pelvis with it. So you're going to use your core to hold everything stable as you drop your leg out to the side, slide the leg away on the inhale, and then medially rotate. So we're going to turn our leg in towards the center of our body and pull the leg back in on the exhale. So let's try 5 of these. We're going to inhale, drop the leg out, rotate it, exhale, use the deep core, and pull the leg back in. And here's 2. The whole time we're doing this, we're keeping our ribs nice and relaxed. Back ribs are relaxed on the mat. And remembering our breathing, that posterior lateral breath, where we're sending the breath into the back of the ribs. And let's do 2 more. Inhale, drop the leg out, slide it down, rotate, pull it back in, and 1 more time. Inhale, slide the leg out, exhale, pull the leg back in. Let's do that on the other leg. Neutral spine, inhale to slide the leg out, drop the leg out to the side, slide it out, rotate it, and pull it back in. Inhale to drop it out to the side, slide it out, rotate medially, pull it back in. Let's do 3 more here. Inhale, slide it out, rotate it, pull it back. 2 more. Inhale, keeping everything else nice and stable, and just moving that head of your thigh bone, the head of the femur, in the hip joint. You're going to think that as you're doing this, you're keeping that other leg nice and stable. That's going to help to stabilize the whole pelvic girdle as well. Let's go ahead and go right into our last exercise for this week, and that is hip rolls. So this is going to feel really good on your back. You want to think that your footprint is completely on your mat. You're going to keep your knees going straight ahead. We're going to start in our neutral spine. Take a breath. And as we exhale, we're going to use our core to tuck our pelvis, push through your feet, use your glutes, and you're going to roll up your spine. Your arms can be down into your mat to help keep your shoulder girdle nice and heavy on the mat. What we don't want to see is popping of our ribs. That's mid-back extension, and we don't want that right now. We want to keep those ribs down. Take a breath at the top, and then exhale. Think of pulling your ribs down, not your hips. Let your spine come down one vertebrae at a time. Roll through your imprint, and then let your pelvis come back down and go back to a neutral. And then what's nice is the head of the femur will sink right back into that hip joint where it should be. We're going to do 5 to 10 of these, so I'm going to walk you through 4 more. Your feet are nice and heavy. Take a breath. Exhale. Use your core to tuck your pelvis. Push through your feet. Start to articulate your spine up off the mat. Inhale at the top. I can feel my glutes engage here at the top. Exhale. Roll yourself down, one vertebrae at a time, all the way back to neutral. 3 more together. Take a breath. Exhale. Scoop. Tuck your pelvis. Roll up your spine, keeping your top ribs down. So your upper ribs, I should say, down, and then pull down one vertebrae at a time. I like to think of the weight of my hips, the weight of my lower body is what's really pulling each vertebrae away from the one above it. So you're kind of thinking of this traction you're creating by lengthening your spine, rolling through your hips, and all the way down. That's week 1 challenge. Try doing this at least 4 more times this week, and then I'll be back next week with 5 new exercises.